Welcome to Malcolm Reed's How to Barbecue Right, a podcast where we talk about barbecue, share recipes, and discuss all things delicious. And now, here's your host, Malcolm and Rochelle Reed.
Hey, welcome back to the How to Barbecue Right podcast. I'm your host, Malcolm Reed, joined by my lovely, talented wife, Miss Southern Shell. Shell, did we survive the ice storm?
We did.
I feel like we've been trying to get this podcast in for like 3 days.
Yeah. We'd say we were going to do it Wednesday because we had to flip filming and podcasting days. We said we were going to film Thursday, and now here we are.
School has been out they went one day, Monday,
yeah.
And then the ice hit, and they ain't looked back. And our policy is, if schools are closed, we're going to close.
At day 4, you have to break that policy.
Day 4, you got to break that policy. It's like everything's thawing out. Come on. The roads aren't bad.
Yeah,
I understand why they canceled, though. There's limbs falling. There's thousands of people without power. Tyler, did y'all lose power down there, man?
Luckily, no. Half the neighborhood did. We were good, though.
We were lucky, too. It flashed like 2 or 3 times over the course of the week, but hasn't been out for a substantial amount of time.
Half the other employees, half everybody else has been out.
Yeah. Mark got trapped. Like, he went out, I forget what morning, it was 2 days ago, I think. He was driving to work, trying to. He went one way, and the tree was blocking the road. By the time he get turned around, another tree blocked the road. He had to call for help.
He was trapped in between two trees.
He had to call Jamie and Mikey showed up with chainsaws and cleared the road. He said, just don't leave the house. Just go back home. So
I didn't see this coming at all.
No, man. Usually we get a pretty good warning.
Yeah.
You know, they say snow's coming. Everybody panics and buys all the milk and bread at the grocery store. And this was just like ice. And it's like, oh, it's only going to last a day. It just kept wave after wave, and it never really warmed up to melt anything. So ice is the worst. Mm-hmm. Like, you can't go outside and have fun in it. All your grills are froze shut. Yeah. Car doors are froze shut.
Our garbage lid was. I had to knock the garbage.
I did too. I went out and loosened them up one day. I didn't even put one on the curb this week. Well, they didn't pick up for 2 or 3 days. I was like, they're not going to come out here in this. So.
Well, yeah, we made it. The ice storm is, I guess, over.
Yep, the ice storm of 23.
I feel like
I lived through 94, so you make it through 94, you can make it through anything.
We have one like once a podcast season at this point. Like, it seems like right at the beginning, always right around January, February, we always have an ice storm.
I think we start back too early. Like, y'all keep thinking, okay, winter's over. It's like, winter ain't even got here yet. Hunting season's over, but winter's not over.
A couple years ago, we left to go to Jamaica as like we were on one of the last planes headed out of Memphis.
The last.
Yeah.
Before they shut the town down for like 3 or 4 days.
I know it was like a week that time.
It was like the whole time y'all were gone.
Yeah.
We missed the whole thing. We missed all that. Like, I was just determined that we were going to get out of Memphis.
We luckily did and had no delays. But when we were flying back with people that had been delayed or stranded at other airports for weeks.
Yeah. Could you imagine that?
No.
Well, I don't know how many hundreds of flights got canceled like Tuesday this week. I'm sure they delayed everything all week.
Yeah. It's a mess.
We got a flight coming up.
Yeah.
2 weeks. Hopefully it'll I've been looking at the weather. It's like we might have some rain, but it's going to be 60s. It's not like bad storms or anything, so I think we're going to be okay.
Hopefully.
As long as Atlanta's not. And Atlanta shouldn't be froze up if we're not froze up. I wouldn't think.
Can you believe it's February already?
I know. 1 month down. 11 to go. It'll be Christmas again. Goes fast.
It goes super fast.
Yeah.
Groundhog says we have 6 more weeks of winter.
I see, but if you saw the groundhog here, he didn't see the shadow. Was it yesterday? What day is Groundhog Day? Is it today?
Thursday.
I think
It was yesterday.
Yeah, so yesterday the sun did not come out at our house. So we're okay at the house. How does that work? Does it work?
One groundhog.
Is it Punxsutawney Phil if he comes out?
Phil.
Well, he saw his, so I guess that means 6 more weeks of winter.
Supposedly.
It wouldn't shock me. It's usually cold till the end of February.
Well, during this downtime when we've been trapped at home, you've been working on your biscuit recipe.
I haven't been able to grill. All the grills are it's too cold, too slick. I don't want to bust my
The cold doesn't bother you. The hazard conditions.
Lock them Crocs in 4-wheel drive if you go out there. So I've been cooking inside. I've been using the air fryer. Been working on my biscuit recipe. I made a kicking pasta dish last night.
Yeah.
What else did we make? Taco soup. We didn't go over all this. We made a big pot of taco soup one night. I'm still not sure quite what the difference is in taco soup and chili, the way we make it.
I feel like the taco soup is way more soupier. And chili is way more meatier.
That's my biggest difference. So, like, you make taco soup, still starts with ground beef. I guess you could use whatever kind of meat you want in taco soup, but burger meat. That's what I've always used. You cook burger meat, you cook an onion, you season it with some grande gringo, and then you put it in a pot with all these vegetables and 2 or 3 kinds of beans and corn and a couple cans of diced tomatoes.
It's not that far off from like just a regular beef stew or, what I call vegetable soup.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of more like that, vegetable soup.
Yeah, but you're using ground beef instead
of
a roast.
When it sits in the refrigerator, it tastes better the next day like chili does. It gets thicker the next day like chili does.
It was thick as chili when you pulled it out and reheated it.
You just don't put as much meat. I guess to me, that's the difference in chili. Like some people would say, well, you put beans in it, it is soup. So, but I put a can of beans in my regular chili anyway. It's just how I've always ate chili. Yeah. You don't like beans in it, hey, but it's basically more broth than chili is all it is. You could easily turn chili into taco soup by adding a few things. It wouldn't be much. Had you a can of corn?
Good, and we kind of top it the same way. Yeah. A little cilantro, touch of cheese, sour cream.
Some fresh sliced jalapeno.
I didn't put any mayonnaise in the taco.
You did not. You did not. I was proud of you.
Didn't mess with that sour cream neither.
I don't think I used any mayonnaise this week. I can't think of anything I cooked that I had mayonnaise in.
I made a grilled cheese sandwich and it had mayonnaise on it
to go with the taco soup. We ate I don't know if y'all have tried. Don't slip on these Tostitos. Hint of avocado chips,
guacamole
chips, or guacamole chips.
Hint of guacamole.
Man, they're good. Have you had those, Tyler?
No, I think I saw them at the store the other day.
They're
like
the little
green?
round ones, and they're kind of green. Yeah, man, they're good.
They're spicy in a good way.
You don't even need a dip really with them. It just tastes. It's got a great flavor for a chip.
I love Tostitos multigrain chips. The Scoops multigrains. Yeah. Oh, those are good. But I don't know. These guacamoles might be my favorite now.
They are mine. They go really good with taco soup. I know that.
I was crunching them up, putting them on top and let them be. Well,
so what's the difference in taco soup and tortilla soup?
I don't know.
Because in tortilla soup, they give you like the tortilla chips to crunch up in it.
Is it ground beef and tortilla soup? It's usually chicken, isn't it?
Yeah, I know chicken.
Is it chicken? Yeah. And it has rice too, maybe? They put a scoop of rice in it?
Maybe.
I didn't put rice in taco soup. We made like white people taco soup. White people taco soup. It's just... You could just use the Ortega kit and make taco soup.
So
add a can of corn.
We also cooked a pack of Hog Jowl.
I had one pack in reserves, and I'm glad I did. It went so good with the biscuits I've been working on.
Yeah.
But I put it in the oven, and it was just like New Year's Day all over.
I feel like we don't stress how good Hog Jowl is. Have you ever had it, Tyler?
No, never.
Oh, man. If you got to give a Christmas gift to somebody, order them some of that Hog Jowl and have it sent to them. Because that's how I got it. I ordered it. They shipped it to me with 3 or 4 days. They had a bacon sampler and the Hog Jowl. I think I had to order 8 packs of Hog Jowl and then the bacon sampler, and it still wasn't but $100 or something like that. It wasn't bad.
And 8 packs of Hog Jowl. Seems like a lot, but it freezes well.
It does. I gave some to my buddy Griff. I gave some to my mom and dad for Christmas. It's just like little happies. But
yeah,
who doesn't like Hog Jowl?
Better than bacon. It's really good.
It really is.
I have to try that.
And
I wonder if Wright's makes Hog Jowl, because I know the burgers is that's the bar.
Yeah,
you got to beat them. But I have had some store bought that's
not as good. Yeah,
it doesn't get crispy. It still has the rind on it sometimes, so it's got a really hard little piece around it. It's like skin. It's just not. I don't know if they use more or better nitrates or whatever it is they cure it with.
So there's different types of bacon out there that there's some brands of bacon I'm like, that's not that great. What is it that makes it? Is it the curing process? Is it the quality of meat?
It may just be it may just be the spices and seasons, the way they cure it. But it's a mild, I think it's a very mild cure. It's not overly salty. It tastes like really, really good bacon, but it's richer, if that makes any sense. Mm-hmm. If you think of how beef cheeks are, how they're kind of like roast, it's kind of like a chuck roast or kind of like brisket point, but just intensely beef rich flavor just melts in your mouth. the hog jowl is the equivalent on the pig.
That's a good way to put it. But a lot of
It's
people
kind of like
think,
bacon. It's kind of like, really good bacon, but better.
when you say better than bacon, I mean,
Yeah, better than bacon. That's their selling point. This is better than bacon.
I need to do their marketing.
Like if I had that company, I would say better than bacon, and it'd probably stay sold out. Well, for one, there's not that much. I mean, there's not that much jowl on a pig that they use. I mean, it's it's not
There's
a giant piece of
quantity.
meat.
Yeah. So, what do you think a jowl weighs? One jowl compared to a full belly?
I would say it's like about a pound.
A pound on a good jowl.
When it's like when you get the package is probably close to a whole jowl.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you got a couple pound, like a 2-pound hog jowl would be pretty heavy.
What's the average slab of bacon weigh?
Shoot, I would guess it's 8 pounds.
Okay.
Or more. When you buy the center cut piece, like from Costco or whatever, it's 3 or 4 pounds.
Yeah. Have you
That's
ever
a
bought a
perfect little
whole
rectangle.
belly? Like
Yeah,
a whole belly.
We used to get them from Compart, the whole side of pork belly.
Yeah.
Those probably weighed 12 pounds or more. I bet they were huge. I mean, you got to think of a big hog. That belly's the length of it. I mean, the whole midsection. So it's heck, it could be 24 to 30 inches long.
Do they use that whole belly for bacon?
Usually they trim it up.
So you don't get
because they want it uniform. Because it's not perfectly square. When you buy it and they've got it trimmed out like center cut, it's perfectly square. But it tapers and it's just odd shape. And when they want to make really good bacon out of it, it's just the centerpiece.
Do you think some of the cheaper bacon might be the end pieces? And
Probably.
stuff?
Well, they do make ends and pieces.
Oh yeah, they do.
Things like that. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know the process if they like cure the whole thing and then trim it up or what. But you can buy like a whole slab of cured pork belly unsliced from, I think Compart still sells them. It's the only place I know.
What would you do with it? Slice it yourself?
Make pork belly burn ends or slice it up, whatever you want to do with it. You can't go wrong with it.
So last weekend was the last hunting weekend.
It was. Went back to camp one last time, did a little hunting, a little cooking down there.
Football's coming to an end.
Football's coming to an end, man.
Hunting's coming in. What
We're
are you
going to
gonna
have
do?
a good Super Bowl. Like Mahomes, you just felt bad for their team. It was like the whole team was just injured. The wide receivers were gone. Mahomes is limping around the field. You never know how long that ankle's going to hold up. They're playing at home and they're pissed off because Kansas City or Cincinnati's, but they've been talking trash. The mayor of Cincinnati's talking trash. All of them were just talking about how Joe Burrow owns Arrowhead, and they come in and man, they got after it. I mean, that was a great game. The Eagles game, I mean, they just stomped the 49ers. That wasn't even a good game, but I think it's going to be a good Super Bowl.
Yeah. How'd you do on your bets?
50-50. Won one, lost one. I didn't hit a single parlay. So I did bet on Cincinnati because I actually caught points on Cincinnati because it was, when I looked at the line earlier, they had Cincinnati favored at one time. And then by the end of it, I think it was caught a 2 points or something like that, plus 2 or something like that. And then I took the Eagles, which that was a lock. So if I had to bet, man, I don't know.
Who's your bet on Super Bowl? And we'll talk about Super Bowl next week.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one, man. Right now, I'm probably leaning towards the Eagles.
I'll give you a week to think about it.
Yeah, give me a week to think about it.
Come back and give your synopsis.
Yeah.
Give me a week to think about it.
I want to bet. I bet like a few weeks ago.
You did. That was a crazy bet you made. You didn't even realize you made it.
I forgot about it. Two brothers were going to, I made a bet that is like a prop bet. Two brothers were going to face each other in the Super Bowl, and the Kelsey brothers are doing that. So,
man, I started listening to their podcast.
Off that.
They have a great podcast. It's really good.
Yeah, they're likable guys.
Yeah. Oh, I can see it's the younger one. Is it the younger one? I don't know which one's younger or older.
Yeah.
But it's the one that plays for the Eagles. He's got you could tell he's just like positioning himself to be a sports announcer or sideline guy or something.
He's the center, right?
He's the center. But they're really good on the podcast.
So what'd you cook at camp last weekend?
Let's see. Last weekend I did a big pot of gumbo. Friday.
What's a big pot of gumbo? How do y'all do gumbo at the camp?
Well, start with a roux. It's
Do you do it
6 beer roux.
That's a heck of a roux.
It's a heck of a roux.
Or else you drink it fast.
Yeah, I mean, for a regular person, like 1.5, 2 beer roux. If I'm standing there stirring it, it's a 6 beer roux.
Okay, explain real quick. What does it mean to do like a 3 beer roux or 2 beer roux? Or
It was like Emerald always said that. When I was growing up watching Emerald, he would be, on Emerald Live making a roux, and he'd go, this is like a 2 beer roux, whatever. The time it takes you to make 2 beers, it should be dark as you want it. Yeah, and I guess about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour is how long it takes them to drink 2 beers. I mean, that's a 6-er all day. If you're not drinking 6 beers in an hour, you don't have plans that night. You're just casually sipping. How long would it take you to drink 2 beers?
2 depends on what
First
kind of
2 go
mood I'm
down
in.
quick. You ain't even got the flour cooked in it yet by the time you drink 2.
Is it a good day and I don't have to drive nowhere?
Yeah, you're at camp. Like you're not going anywhere. You might get on a side by side and ride around or something. That's about it. Yeah. Anyway, it's 6 beer roux. That's what we made. And all it is flour and oil, and you just stand there and stir it. So it gets pretty boring. So if you got a little music playing in the background, and
It becomes a camaraderie thing. It's like barbecue.
That's right. We even took turns. Like Mikey stirred for a little while. I stirred for a little while.
Do y'all make it on the stove?
Yeah. I got one of those Big Ware or Magnolite pots.
Yeah.
Makes that's my Cajun pot.
You love that pot.
Oh, I
don't you?
do.
I made
It
chicken
makes the
dumplings
best.
in it one
It
time.
makes the best stews, gravies, gumbos, anything like that. Is that pot's on it? It's the original like Cajun wedding present. That's what you got. We get most people give crock pots. Well, if you're from Louisiana, South Louisiana, you're getting one of those Magnolite pots usually.
So you made your roux.
So I made a roux. I always saute up my vegetables. Some people just throw them right in the roux, but I usually go ahead and knock some
Saute
of
them
soften them up just a little bit, just in a pan right beside it. What I'll do is I'll take my andouille
You
sausage.
like to mess up as many dishes as you possibly can.
That's all right. So I took andouille sausage and sliced it up like in little half circles, put it in the skillet first to render out a little bit of oil, and then transfer it to the side, leave some of that drippings in there. I'll take my vegetables, throw it off in there, soften them up. By the time I get my roux as dark as I like it, and I like a dark roux for gumbo, I'll put the vegetables over in it, usually hit my sausage over in it, start pouring in my chicken broth, just kind of slowly and stirring it so the roux kind of doesn't separate. It just starts kind of thickening it. Then I'll take my okra, but I don't put in raw okra. I don't want slimy gumbo. You got to heat that okra up to cook it past that slime stage. So I roast it in the oven. You put it on a baking sheet with some aluminum foil, throw it in there, let it go. I don't know. It don't take 15, 20 minutes. You don't want it crispy, but you want it to cook, and okra releases this like natural slime that's in it. And it's nasty in a gumbo. But once you cook it past that, you add that to your gumbo, and the okra's really good in it.
So does it have a different texture if you were just to add it?
Oh, yeah. It's going to get slimy and slick. And like when you scoop your gumbo, it looks like you got snot in it. I mean, it's horrible. A lot of people will cook it with like tomatoes because I guess the acid, and as it cooks down in the tomatoes, it gets rid of that too. Then you can add it, but I don't put tomatoes in my gumbo. It's basically like a chicken and sausage based gumbo. I do add for this one, I went different. Like if you were from Louisiana, they'd probably frown upon you putting seafood and chicken and sausage in a gumbo. But I like around the world gumbo because it's supposed to be different flavors. Like if you're using seafood, you make a lighter roux, you use seafood stock or broth. Well, I usually just make a chicken sausage gumbo, and right at the very end, I add shrimp and crawfish tails just because I like it. It gives it a good flavor. So it's got a little bit. It's like kind of like kitchen sink gumbo. But I did do chicken thighs. Once we get the vegetables out of the saute pan, I'll season them, the boneless, skinless thighs, with a little bit of king crawl. Just brown them. You're not worried about really getting them all the way done, but I don't want them to get stringy in the gumbo. A lot of people will, boil their chicken, and then you got this pulled chicken, and then once you cook it some more in the gumbo, it gets stringy.
Oh yeah.
So you don't want that. I want my chicken to have texture, and so I like using the boneless, skinless thighs, which you don't really. I mean, dark meat and gumbo is awesome.
I think so too.
I wouldn't even put breast in it, but you just cut it up in little chunks and add it after you get the gumbo simmering some, and it really only takes the longest part's the roux. I mean, you want those flavors to come together, but I mean, by the time, we started the gumbo probably about 3:00 and it was ready to eat about, 8. By the time we started on it and adjusted it and let it sit and had a few more drinks and went and did our thing. It's it's a labor of love. Then we cooked some French bread to go with it, cooked some rice. I mean, I also made a potato salad to go with gumbo. Now, y'all might not never heard of this. It's I think it's don't quote me on this, but I think it's a north of I-10 thing. Because I don't know if anybody south of I-10 eats potato salad in their gumbo.
So how do you do this? Do you
make a regular potato salad? Like we quartered some potatoes up, diced them up, boiled some eggs, grated them up, maybe a little mayo, a little blue plate mixture with a little mustard, sweet pickle relish, a little bit of celery, a little Cajun King cross seasoning. Tossed it together within the potatoes. Just don't try to it's not making mashed potatoes. I want them potatoes to have some texture. Stick it in the refrigerator and let it cool. Top it with a little bit of green onion. And then when you get ready to serve your gumbo, you put a scoop of that potato salad in the bowl, and then you ladle your gumbo around it, and then you drag it through it as you eat it, and it makes the gumbo kind of creamy. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't have the rice. Most people use rice.
Yeah.
I don't know who didn't have rice and was drunk, decided to put potato salad in it. But it is dang good. So I had a bowl of each.
I love potato salad. I'm not a biggest fan of rice.
So here's the deal.
So
if you're a mayonnaise lover, you're probably going to like the potato salad in it. If you like the creaminess of it, you'll probably like it. I mean, it's good. It's good. But is it better than rice? I would say no, because the potato salad takes away from the flavory broth or the gravy part of the gumbo, the richness. And I guess the mayo, the vinegar element from the pickle relish and the mustard kind of dulls that. So, but try it and tell me what you think, because it's pretty good. Mark's like a huge fan of it.
Yeah, Mark's a mayo lover too.
He does. He likes the mayo, but he's got family like north of I-10, and that's where they got it from. Because I don't know anybody up here. I've never seen Emerald serve.
Yeah. This week, speaking of Cajun cooking, this week you cooked a Boudin King Cake.
I did. That was our video this week. And it's I was thinking something along the lines of a football food, something that, you could serve at a party. It is Mardi Gras time. And you see King Cakes have hit the grocery stores. You can order them online, but nobody up here has got the Boudin King Cake.
So
it's like a Louisiana thing. I mean, you can get them down there.
Where'd you get the idea originally?
Originally, probably from Boudin Brad bringing those Boudin kolaches to barbecue events, and basically it's like a little. If you've ever had a kolache. It's like a pig in a blanket kind of thing. It's a, pastry dough wrapped around a sausage. Well, he had a lady that was doing it with Boudin sausages, and he would bring them to barbecue contests, throw them on the grill on Saturday mornings, and bring his buddies that were cooking around one of those warm Boudin kolaches. And so I just said, man, that would make a good king cake. I mean, it's a thing. It's like I didn't invent it or anything. I was just trying to make an easy version of it. So to me, it made sense to. Now, I've never had, like Brad's, the ones I've had never had the cream cheese in it. It was always just like sausage surrounded in a dough. But I took it a step further. It's like when I order a sweet king cake, I like the cream cheese one's the best.
Yeah.
Strawberry cream cheese, regular cream cheese, they make these different flavors. And I said, well, since we're doing savory and I know cheese is good in it, why not like do a crawfish cream cheese where you just dump some crawfish tails in, stir it up, season it with a little Cajun seasoning, a little hot sauce, spread that down, set your Boudin on top of it, and then roll it up and bake that.
And you didn't do any sort of pastry, like
no. I mean, I wasn't about to try to make a dough that was just good.
Yeah.
I mean, you could, I guess, if you really got a good pastry recipe, you want to go to all that trouble.
Those
buttery crescent, so the buttery savory crescent rolls. It was dang good. I mean, it was super easy. You just take like 3 cans of them and arrange them out in a ring.
You did not have any sort of like method or plan.
No,
or whatever.
you just unroll them and just kind of start over, just shingle them around. You just got to know that you got to, you're kind of trying to stay in the middle of them because you got to pull the edges up and over. So you can't put a whole lot of stuff, but I put a pretty good trail of the cream cheese crawfish mixture. And then I took the Boudin, and instead of just putting cold Boudin on it, I took it out of the casings because those casings can get kind of tough on Boudin.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times you see people eat them, they squeeze the meat out as they eat it on a cracker, with hot sauce. But I split the casing, unwrapped it, had the pit going 350 where I was going to cook on, and then put the sausages on there for 10, 15. I think, Tyler, you said a 15-minute timer, didn't you?
Yep.
And that was, I didn't check the internal temperature, but you're just heating them back up.
And
I just wanted to give them a head start so it wasn't something super cold because I knew the pastry would cook and I wanted everything to be really good, melty and creamy and hot on the inside. So that's why I did that. But it also lets me break it up. Like the lengths of sausage don't fit perfect. You got to kind of arrange it. So I would just break a chunk off, spread it around, Then I wrapped it all up. And it don't have to be perfect.
Yours was.
Yeah, it can have little gaps in it. You just want it mainly covered. That's the way a king cake kind of is when you see one. It's not a perfectly baked pastry.
Yeah.
It's kind of rustic. And that's what this one was. It was just on the savory side.
Yeah, yours was not perfect by any means. When you topped it and did all the other stuff, it looks really good.
With a king cake, they'll put frosting all over the top. They'll put the different colored sugars. So you're covering up a lot of those imperfections. Well, I said, I'm not going sweet. Now, some of the ones that I've seen from places you can get a savory or a Boudin King Cake, they cover it in syrup. They have steamed syrup. It's like I guess it's a cane sugar syrup they make. It's a big thing in Louisiana.
Yeah.
And they'll crumble up bacon and put on top of that. That's their topping. So it does have a sweet element. And I can see, I've seen it with pepper jelly. Like you can melt pepper jelly, warm it up, drizzle it over it. I can see that being good. But I wanted to go even cheesier.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't want the sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I want the savory flavor.
So I said, what would be better than a cheese dip? And let's take it a step further and make it a crawfish cheese dip drizzled over the top. And so what I did was, how could I do this easy? Well, I put half my package of crawfish tails on the inside and the cream cheese, and I saved half of those cooked crawfish tails to go in the cheese dip. And then I just bought some store-bought cheese dip. You could use the white, the yellow, whatever brand you want. Ponchos, Arbos is what I used. But any kind of little queso that you can buy at the grocery store will work.
Make your life real easy.
Yeah, easy. So I sauteed up a little, I guess 3/4 of a Trinity, a bell pepper and onion. I left the celery out. You could have put the celery in if you wanted to.
You could have done anything.
I just didn't have any celery. So bell pepper and onion, sauteed that down, added my crawfish tails, turn the heat down.
Garlic.
Threw a little garlic in there.
Yeah.
Season that, a little king crawl, a little hot sauce. Added my cheese dip and just let it sit off the heat and stay warm. Just kind of come together. The pan and everything warms the cheese dip up. Because if you keep cooking it, it's going to get super thin. You don't want it super thin, but you want it to run.
Yeah.
And when the king cake got done, it was 45 minutes at 350 on the Grilla smoker. You could have cooked it in the oven you want.
Would your time have changed if you would have cooked it in the oven?
You're not worried about time as much as you are as when that thing gets brown. So on a pellet grill, they're not going to over brown anything. The oven may over brown it, so it might take 35 minutes at 350 in your oven. But on a grill, it's probably not. It's probably going to lean more to that 45-minute mark. I mean, if you did want to check the temperature, it needs to get back to 165 because there's sausage in it. But I didn't worry about it. I just knew that because I cooked it the week before. I mean, it takes 45 minutes on grill. But I do recommend, if you cook it, put it on a sheet pan, but then put something down like butcher paper, parchment paper, aluminum foil, anything that's going to not make it stick to the pan. Because if you're going to move it, and I do like the butcher paper or the parchment paper because you can easily transfer it to your cutting board, and you can cut on it and not have to worry about cutting pieces of aluminum foil because you're probably not going to slide it off that. And it looks, the butcher paper just looks better serving it.
It's what you do with pizzas. Same kind of thing.
Same kind of thing.
You're just using it to make it easy.
And you could have left it I don't see why it wouldn't have worked in a pizza pan, and you just leave it in the pizza pan if you wanted to.
So it comes off. It's beautiful. Brown.
Beautiful. Brown. You got this delicious cheese dip with crawfish and vegetables in it.
Okay, well, what if somebody says you're using a Mexican style cheese dip with your crawfish?
I call it fusion. Would you have known that was like Mexican cheese dip? There's no way. Because by the time I put the Cajun season in it, the hot sauce in it, the crawfish and the vegetables, it just tastes like a really good crawfish cheese dip.
And aside from a few ingredients, they kind of have some similarities.
Yeah, if you wanted to take it, like if you wanted to admit that element, I would probably room temperature cream cheese block, add that to my
sauce.
My sauce with a little bit of cream or milk, just something to get it the right consistency. But you don't want it too thin. But you could easily blend in that cream cheese. And if you had any stuffing left over, I mean, there's no reason why you couldn't thin that down and make a cheese sauce out of half your stuffing if you wanted to. But trust me, it's easy to buy a thing of cheese dip and just do it the way I did.
So you pull it off.
I'm going for easy.
Yeah.
So I pulled it off, drizzled, like ladled that the crawfish cheese dip over the top of it. I didn't get crazy with it, but you just kind of ladle it slow and let it run down. And then I took some pork rinds and crushed them up. And sprinkled them over the top for my crunchy element because I was thinking, Louisiana cracklings.
Great idea, yeah.
I saw other could have done bacon, but I could have done bacon, but I was like, no, I want that pork rind crunch, and they had some flavor to them too. They got a little heat to them. If you like a hot pork rind,
what pork rind did you pick?
Those were sweet heat.
Brim
sweet heat.
That's
you
like
could
my
use
favorite pork rind.
They're really good, and some green onion, and that's all. That was like sliced green onion for the garnish. It's ready to go.
And it made it pop because you had those crawfish in the sauce, that were sticking out. And then you had the green color and the crunchy little cracklings.
Yeah. I got asked, could you substitute anything for the Boudin if you can't get Boudin or you don't like Boudin? And I was like, yeah, well, I don't see why you couldn't. You could use another kind of sausage.
You could use anything.
I think.
Could you use a smoked sausage?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, it's going to be a little denser.
Yeah.
Breakfast sausage. So if you wanted to brown up some breakfast sausage and then whip that in your cream cheese, you could do that.
Oh, okay.
You could add the vegetables to it. You could add the crawfish, leave the crawfish out, add shrimp, whatever you want in the filling. Just don't go too much. That's the whole thing, because if you overstuff it, you're not going to be able to wrap it and it's going to ooze out. But the cream cheese and the breakfast sausage, like a spicy breakfast sausage, is delicious in one. Really good.
Yeah, I like that idea better than a smoked sausage because the Boudin has a texture. Like when you cut into it.
Yeah, it's kind of like dirty rice.
Yeah, it falls apart in a good way.
Yeah.
It doesn't give you a lot of resistance.
That's right. So I'm thinking with the smoked sausage, it might be better to kind of dice it and then cook it in a skillet, get as much, render that grease off, give it little crunchy bits, and then put the trail of that on top of or mix that in.
Yeah.
If you did a whole one, it's going to be more like a pig in a blanket kind of thing. It's dense. I mean, it'd probably be good, but you're not going to have it. It's going to be a texture change.
Yeah.
It's going to be firmer.
It's not going to all kind of feel uniform. So exactly what is Boudin?
Boudin is sausage made with rice, some type of meat, and vegetables and seasonings. So that's all it is. So if you think of, most of the time they use pork, but they do make crawfish Boudin. They make alligator Boudin. They make all kinds of Boudin.
Yeah.
Any kind of meat you can cook, you can turn it into Boudin. But it's all pre-cooked, even the rice. Then they mix it all together. Sometimes they'll grind it all together. Once they get it mixed, they'll regrind it and stuff it. But sometimes I've seen it to where it's more the rice hasn't been ground. Everything else has. They must hand mix it or have some machine mix it, and they put it in a stuffer. Stuff it in a natural casing. But I did hear someone say that they don't use a lot of the natural casings anymore. It's like a synthetic. So.
Oh, really?
Used to it was all like pork.
Sheep lining.
Yeah, sheep or pork intestines.
Yeah.
Which sounds kind of gross, but I've been eating them all my life. They are a little tougher though. Like when I eat Boudin, typically the way I always eat it is we'll throw it on the smoker or the grill, heat it up really good, and then slice it, and then just kind of get you out some of the meat. You don't really eat the casing. You put it on a cracker, add a little hot sauce, and it's good to go.
It's really good that way too. Just saltine.
Yeah, I mean, now when I say they sell a lot of Boudin in Louisiana, they sell a lot. I mean, it's like you go in a gas station, it's like buying a hot dog around here at a gas station. They've got Boudin sausage ready to go, and then usually several kinds of it. So
you say Boudin
and the
balls,
cracklings too, the Boudin balls, yeah,
which are like hush puppies.
kind of like fritters.
Yeah.
It's the best way I can describe it. So for the Boudin balls, they'll just take it out of the casing and make a scoop of it. Just think of like an ice cream scoop, and then they'll do like an egg flour, egg wash, panko, deep fry it, and it looks like this, hush puppy type fritter.
Usually bigger than a hush puppy.
Yeah, it's a little bigger, but man, they're
Fritter's
good
a good
too.
way to describe it.
It's fritter size. It's usually kind of circular. They sell those at J&J. But have you had Chester's? I guess they're Chester's. That's what chicken they sell.
Yeah, I don't think they're hand doing those. I think
they're
that's
froze. Yeah, my mom made some. They're really good.
So where do you get your Boudin?
I mean, locally Kroger, and it's the brand I had. But I mean, if I could get some, I'd get it from Ronnie's. That's where Boudin Brad owns Ronnie's. I think he's got 2 branches down in Louisiana. But man, there's a bunch of good ones. There's all. I mean, if you drive down to Louisiana, you can order it online too. There's places like what's the
Cajun
Grocer? Yeah, that's a good place.
Do you have a specific brand that you?
No, just. I mean, I'll try it all. The best kind don't have a brand.
Yeah.
It's just like we got some Boudin. You want to buy it?
Yeah, I'll try.
There's actually there's this old. I guess it's a bait shop. It's in it's right on the causeway coming out of New Orleans. What's it called? Man Shack. You stop in there and you never know what they're gonna have. You go open the freezer. It might be some catfish. It might be some Boudin. It might be gator. Well, I'll stop in there coming out of New Orleans to see what they have.
It does not look like a store at all.
Oh, it
looks like somebody's fish camp with some old freezers.
Like old. Like it's never been inspected by anything. That's just
there's
bait in one, stuff for sale in the other. And I guess it's for sale. I don't know. They always sell it to us when we go.
You just plundered through somebody's.
Yeah. How much for this stuff in the freezer? We just plundered through what somebody had put in there.
They might have turtles.
I bought all. They do. I've seen them.
So where did you get your crawfish from?
From Walmart. All of my stuff came from either Walmart or Kroger.
I mean, it's hard to source.
Hey, but it was Louisiana crawfish, though. That's what. So when you buy crawfish tails, look at your package, because this one was the blue and yellow pack. I don't remember exactly what brand it was, but it was Louisiana raised crawfish. Now, some of them will say product of Vietnam or wherever they get them from. You got to watch. So I would definitely try to buy, local crawfish
as much as you can. Same thing with shrimp.
Oh yeah. Try to buy Gulf shrimp.
When I first had a king cake, not talking about a savory king cake, a sweet king cake, but the first time I had a king cake, I did not think it was very good. It was dry, bland.
Like a bad cinnamon roll?
Yeah. I'm like, ugh, I don't know why people get so excited about this stuff. Then I realized I just wasn't eating I was eating a crappy king cake.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I'd gotten it at the Kroger bakery.
There's a lot of people that sell the box versions of them. I mean, first one I ever had was in 6th grade.
What'd you think?
There was a girl from Louisiana transferred to our elementary school, and she brought a king cake. And I was amazed at
and you were
the
in
baby in it and all that. No, it wasn't that kind. It wasn't that good. But I'm like you. It was just kind of like a dry pastry. Yeah. It just had a baby in it, had icing on it. It was pretty because it had all the colors.
You were into sprinkles when you were in 6th grade?
I guess so.
Somebody did comment that you forgot to put the baby in it.
Yeah. That one don't go in the Boudin. I guess I could have went and got old crawfish fishing lure and stuck the hooks off of it and stuffed it up in there. You remember the little king crawl thing I used to have?
Yeah. We bought some for the office, like a traditional sweet king cake for the office up here, and I was expecting somebody to get the baby, but I guess there wasn't a baby in there.
Did they all get 8 though? I don't know if either one of them.
Oh yeah, they all got 8.
Really?
We had 2 and they all got 8. There was one piece I think that got thrown away.
Huh.
Out of 1.
Did you check it and see if it had the baby?
No. I imagine that's become a choking hazard.
Maybe so.
Probably.
I don't know. It's tradition to have them in there.
Yeah.
Well, the deal is if you get that, you got to bring the next king cake.
That's what I've always been told.
I thought it meant you were like the king or something like that of the year.
Oh, really?
Or something. Yeah, like that's what I had heard.
I just know you're supposed to bring the next one.
Yeah, that's what I've always been told. You're in charge of the next one.
Yep.
But if you get a good king cake, they're good.
Oh, yeah.
When you get the cream cheese inside. We had one that was pecans and praline or something like that. It was really good.
We went to, it was the year we cooked the Sheds barbecue contest, and they got a bunch of them made and brought in, and they were so fresh, and it was like, man, this is the way it's supposed to be.
I think Rouse's did
I think
those.
it was Rouse's grocery chain, yeah. Made them in their bakery.
So,
Folks don't know nothing about Rouse's. It's my favorite grocery store down on the coast. Man, you go into Rouse's and they got real stuff cooking in there. You can get crawfish by the pound ready to go, and they're good. Shrimp, crab legs.
they got
You just walk in and you smell it in the regular grocery store. Like, dang.
and they got a really good like meat and three going on.
Turduckins cooked and ready to go.
Yeah. They got some good stuff. So we have some official dates for the American Royal. If you want to put it on your calendar for September 28th, 29th, and 30th. You're going this year, huh?
Heck yeah, I'm going this year. In September, right?
September 28th, 29th, 30th.
They ought to be playing football again by then, too. Where's it at? The Speedway?
Yeah.
Same place?
Yeah.
They hadn't changed venue since we've been?
No, this will be the first time you've been since.
Man, it's been a while. It's been a minute. 3 or 4 before pandemic.
Oh,
Man,
way
yeah.
before pandemic.
I don't remember the last one we went to.
I'm going to say 2017,
Was it that? No, it wasn't that long. Was it? Has it been that long?
2018.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay. So are you doing some?
I hadn't been since they moved it September. It was always in October when
Yeah.
we went.
Are you doing some other contests?
Yeah, we're doing. I mean, of course, we're going to do Memphis and May if we get in. I'm going to do a few KCBS coming up. I'm not in the invitational. We're just going to cook the open unless we get an invitational. That means we got to try to win a grand for here and there.
So you got the bug again?
Just ready to cook some.
You need a hobby now that hunting season's
Yeah, now the
over.
hunting season's over. It's what you do, right? It depends on my video schedule, but I'm trying to work it in. Like you've probably got on your calendar every weekend booked from now till July 4th. Actually, probably on into them, but I got a fishing trip in July, so we might be booking August already.
Oh, I'm.
And then you've got
October.
September. Yeah, see, they don't leave me any time to cook. I just have to block out some weekends. I gave you some dates of weekends I wanted to keep open for cooking, so that's my plan. I would be happy if I get to cook the 2 big contests and 4 little contests. That would be a good year.
That's a good schedule.
Heck yeah.
You used to cook 25 contests a year.
That was a lot.
That was a lot.
We didn't have a business going on then. It was just like you go work a regular 9 to 5 and you can go cook on weekends.
Yeah. You didn't work no regular 9 to 5.
Back then I did.
I could not imagine. That is a lot
Oh, it was a
of
lot.
cooking.
For years. We did it for years.
That's pretty much every
Other
2
week,
weeks, right?
If you do it like that, but there's a stretch where you got like 9 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
That was tough, 9 in a row.
Because they don't do so much in November, December, January. You don't have as many contests, but May, April.
It was pretty much
June,
April to June, and then you hit a stretch from like September to November.
Every weekend.
Every weekend, yeah. And I think that Stand By Your Grill was always in August, I think.
I would cry sometimes.
I shook with the team every 3 weeks. It's the last one. Usually it's because we got lost on the way coming home, or she just ready to be home and she stuck with me and Waylon. I'm sure it was I know it was fun. People would love to be in your shoes.
I was basically your roadie. I got everything prepped. I trimmed everything.
Not everything. We're talking chicken.
That's the biggest
Everything
one.
chicken. It is, but now you don't have to do chicken anymore.
So Super Bowl is next weekend.
Yep.
You got any big plans?
Not as of yet. I'm trying to, see how thawing out goes. I got to shoot some video. I need to do some TikToks, some Super Bowl foods. I got some ideas of stuff I'm going to do, and since we're going out of town a few days after the Super Bowl, I'm not planning on anything major.
I'm too focused on the Bahamas.
What? See, now I know it's Super Bowl Sunday, but I would sign the petition or whatever it takes to get it moved to Saturday, because I don't understand. I mean, maybe they do it just to keep people calm. Sunday's a good day. Everybody's supposed to go to work, but no, I mean, it's the number one day people call out of work.
Just go ahead and move
on
it.
Super Monday.
Yeah. Move it to Saturday.
Move it to Saturday and, have it about, I don't know, noon, 2 o'clock on Saturday. I think it'd be great. At least I wish they'd bump it up to like noon on Sunday or something like that.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting too old. I can't even make it to the end of the Super Bowl. If it was on Saturday, I wouldn't have no problem. But
Saturday at 2 o'clock, you can wake up, have a Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
Be in bed by 9, 10 o'clock.
I can make it till 12, midnight, 1 o'clock on Saturday night. Sunday night, I can't do that. So as of now, I don't have any Super Bowl plans. We got invited to a couple parties, but I may be packing.
Yeah. I'd rather go to someone else's party than host one.
I don't know. I get the itch.
I know. That's what I'm afraid of.
Michelle, we're going to have a few people. Few people to the office, no more than 50.
Then you'll have this huge menu.
Yeah. We just got to cook wings for 50.
That's what Hooters is for, right?
You're right. You're right. Getting them catered is much easier.
So time to ask you some community questions.
I'm ready.
So first of all, we're doing a contest right now in our community, in our Let's Get to Cooking community. Yeah. All you have to do is comment on what you're cooking for the Super Bowl, right?
So are you getting an autographed Rochelle Reed bottle of Blue Plate? Is that the prize?
Nobody wants that.
Signed
They'll be
by the mayonnaise queen herself.
Sure, if you want it.
Leader of the Mayonnaise Eaters Unite.
They're going to get it. Wipe my name off.
Is that a support group or is it like a fan group or what is it?
Support group.
Hi, I'm Rochelle and I eat mayonnaise.
It's called
Hi, Rochelle.
called
Spoon Lickers
Unite.
Spoon Lickers Unite.
Okay, so we're doing a contest.
Okay.
All you have to do is comment what you're cooking for Super Bowl, and we're going to pick 10 people randomly to win a prize pack that includes a hot sauce, a hot rub, a vinegar sauce, spicy garlic pickles, a knife, and a hat.
No jar of mayonnaise. Maybe we're going to do a grand prize one this year.
It's like the ultimate swag pack. Pretty much. I mean, you're getting pretty much everything you need for your Super Bowl party. That's why we made the cutoff on Monday. So
we can get it to you for your...
So
okay.
This cutoff it's going to be Monday at 11:59 p.m. So make sure you guys have your comment in.
What do you have? So all you have to do is comment in the group. You got to be a member of the group.
Yeah, you got to be a member of the community.
So you got to go to Facebook communities, find the Let's Get to Cooking community, ask to be a member. Tyler will let you in.
You got it.
And then find the post and comment on it. What you're cooking for Super Bowl.
Is right at the top. It's pinned at the top.
And then you're just going to pick one lucky winner out of all the comments?
10.
10 winners.
Yep.
Wow.
You're only we do have a comment sifter, by the way, because there are people commenting on it multiple times. That way it only tracks, like, if you're one person commenting, you're only going to be counted one time.
Yeah. And no, we're not going to ask you for any information. We're not going to ask you for your credit cards.
No.
If somebody looks like us sends you a message, it is not us. Because we are not going to send you a message.
We're probably going to do a contest each month, something like that.
I like that idea. Cool. Give back to the community.
Yeah. So anyway,
good deal.
Go get signed up for that.
Yeah, that's going to be sweet. The Super Bowl fun pack.
I did see somebody commenting that they did burnt ass chicken. Said it's a killer recipe.
It is. Look, since we've been iced in, I've been doing thighs. I've been doing the burnt ass thighs in the air fryer. Man, you don't sleep on those. Get them in what? So I throw them in a little marinade. And it's kind of a little Asian-y steak soy marinade. It's called Hoover sauce. It's from Mississippi. You can find it at some of our grocery stores. But it has kind of some Asian flavors to it, but it's mainly the meat marinade. I'll throw some boneless, skinless thighs in a Ziploc bag, pour in a little of that marinade, let them sit for about an hour, take them out, season them with whatever you want, barbecue rub, king crawl, grande gringo, whatever you want. I'm working on a new little spicy Thai seasoning that I've been doing them with. Put them in the air fryer on 400, and it takes like 11 minutes.
Do you do boneless, skinless?
Yeah, boneless, skinless thighs. 11 minutes, I flip them. Put them back in. Another 5 or 6 minutes, I just check them with the quick thermopan poke. As soon as I see 175, I get them out. Man, those things are juicy. They're crispy. It's just like it's everything but the grill flavor. So if you can't get to the grill, do them in that air fryer. And man, I made a stir fry with them one night. One night we just ate them with some vegetables, was it roasted asparagus or roasted broccoli and sweet potatoes, something like that?
Yeah.
I mean, that's my jam. Air fryer thighs.
You did them with the stir fryer. They were really good.
Really good.
You cooked them in the air fryer and then sliced them into little strips and put them on top of the noodles and
After
the
I did
veg
the
stir fry.
Yeah. That was
one of my favorite recipes you've done lately.
Yeah.
You've been doing a lot of dinner cooking here lately.
Look at me. I can't get to my grill. I'm cooking something. I get the Jonesing.
I like it.
Yeah.
So I saw somebody showing a London broil, and it looked really good. They had I'm not sure how they cooked it. They didn't say, but it was pink in the middle. What's a London broil?
So it's a particular cut of, I'm pretty sure, a shoulder steak or something like that. Don't get me wrong on where exactly it comes from, but it's a particular cut, and I don't know why they call it London broil. I think it was just because it was a cut of beef they were doing, and maybe in UK or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
People would order it, but it's more like a roast. I used to buy them to make jerky out of them. They make excellent jerky because they're thin. They don't have much fat, and you can
Were
get
they
them
cheap?
They used to be. I mean, they're not really cheap anymore. They're not expensive though. It's about like buying a chuck roast, something like that. But the way my mom used to cook them, she would braise them, almost like you would a chuck roast or a brisket that you were cooking in the oven. They would brown them a little bit, throw them in a roaster with some broth, some aromatics, some vegetables, and then cook them until they're sliceable. But it can be tougher. So I've never had one that was cooked kind of on the rare side. So I'm pretty interested in that. I think you could do that if you sous vide it and then grilled it off at the end. You could hold it really rare and get it tender like that.
So you
give me the technical. If you looked it up, I could be blowing smoke. Was I on the right track?
So the cut, it says it's originally referred to broiled flank steak, although modern butchers may label top round, culotte, or other cuts as London broil. Yeah. But it's basically a dish. It's more of a dish than a cut.
It's preparation.
Yeah, it's a beef dish made by broiling marinated beef, then cutting it across the grain into thin strips.
Yeah, if it's good, that's more sirloin area back there.
Despite its name, the dish and the terminology are North American, not British.
Oh, well, shows what I know.
We got a thing for that. French fries, London broil.
Yeah. I don't know. But so it's more of the prep. So how does the preparation say?
Preparation of London broil typically involves marinating the meat for several hours, followed by high heat searing in an oven broiler or outdoor grill. It is then served in thin slices cut across the grain.
So it's a lot like we do. What's the flat iron?
Yeah.
The way I serve it. So I'm going to have to try one like that. I've only had it kind of cooked down like roast. So that's very interesting.
So that's funny that they label it as London broil as a cut.
Yeah.
I've always thought it was a cut too. Yeah.
I thought it was too. It's a preparation. They're talking about a preparation, huh? So you could sear. I got that. You might see me do a video of it. Let's see if it's any good. Marinate it for 6 hours. Take it out. Season it. High heat. Sear it. Cut it in thin strips across the grain. I got that.
I think that's a good plan.
Yeah, solid plan.
So I've got a question about drum cooking. To those that use a drum style cooker, I watched reviews on the pit barrel cooker that the juices from the heat can extinguish the fire. Has anyone experienced this with a pit barrel or UDS?
No. Usually if the fire is going out, it's not from juices dripping on it. It's from lack of oxygen, or your coals are stacked and they've kind of fell and put themselves out. I've had that happen too. When you're restricting the air so much, they can go out. But typically you don't have a fire with meat juices dripping on it. You're going to have more of an issue of starting a bigger fire. Yeah. Because if you add you take the lid off, you got 3 pork butts on there raining down, really rendering. And that, once it hits the flame, that's fat. It's not water, it's fat. It's primarily a fat, and the oil, which is an oil, and it's going to burn. So you really don't have that problem. If you think it is, you could always put a lower rack in and with like a catch pan of some sort as a deflector and to catch some of that grease. But I've never had that issue. I like the meat juices dripping on it. I don't think on a pit barrel that you're going to load it up enough with enough stuff to worry about that. I mean, 3 butts on one would be tight anyway. You know?
It's more an issue of the airflow.
Yeah, it's more airflow, proper airflow. Yeah, proper airflow. Get you a little jigging rod where if your coals are starting to burn funny, you can kind of stoke them a little bit. That's a thing. You know, sometimes you got to stoke, especially if you're using briquettes or something like that. I like to use lump in my drums. You know, just because you can get multiple burns out of it. But typically, you're not going to have that problem.
So here's a question. They're cooking for a child's birthday, cooking for around 30, 35 people. Do you think 2 10-pound pork butts will be enough to feed everyone for pulled pork sandwiches?
That's going to be close. That's going to be real close. Kids, it's hard to say how much of them will eat a whole sandwich. You know, if I was going to do that, I'd probably have some hot dogs on the side so I could feed the kids some hot dogs and the parents some pork, and you'd have plenty. But if you got to make every kid a barbecue sandwich, you're probably going to get a lot of it wasted for one, and then you might be stretching it to go by. So I would think you should get about at minimum 8 to 10 pounds of usable meat out of that. So that should feed, you know, that should make you close to, I would say, 35 sandwiches, maybe, you know, if you portioned it. But if you have it to where everybody can get their own, you're going to have people doing open face. Some people just get meat. Some people, you know, putting it on chips and stuff. So I would probably
throw in some hot dogs.
Yeah, throw in some hot dogs.
Or some chickens, some strippies. We need to do a whole topic on how to figure out amounts for cooking.
Yeah.
Like, how do you figure out how much meat to cook?
I don't have to try. This is what I've done. I always like to over prepare. Like, I mean, especially I'm not doing this. You're not doing that to make money. It doesn't sound like you're cooking to feed. I would cook 3 and be done with it. That way I know I got enough.
And then you can send people home with some.
Yeah, there's some left over. You can keep it for yourself to freeze. It, you know, it does good stuff. You can send some home with somebody, the birthday boy or whatever. Or
make barbecue nachos.
Yeah,
the next
make
day.
Nachos the next day. There's all kinds of stuff you do with
spaghetti.
leftovers. And what's, you know, if you're cooking 2, might as well cook 3.
Barbecue quesadillas. Pulled pork and eggs.
There's all kinds of stuff you can do with it.
Barbecue pizza.
You do it the barbecue stuff.
That's all I have for you today, Mel.
That's all the questions we got today.
I mean, I got some more. You may ask you a few more.
Yeah, I got time for another one.
Okay.
One more and we'll round it out.
So someone was asking about the chimichurri you use. What is the chimichurri you use?
It's the dry season chimichurri. Yeah. It's Alfregoni's. Is the brand Chimichurri? I don't really. Or is it Al's? Big Al's Chimichurri?
Yeah,
I don't know. It just says Chimichurri on the bottle. I did see that picture. That is it. It's he makes a spicy version. He makes a regular version, and you can make a chimichurri sauce with it. It says on the label you add oil and vinegar to it and let it rehydrate a little bit, and it makes a really good chimichurri. But I use it as a seasoning on a lot of stuff too. Mm-hmm. It's really good on potatoes. Like you can make a little oven roasted or smoker roasted potatoes with a little olive oil, some chimichurri, and some TX. Or you could use it on chicken. You can use it on wings. I've used it, all kinds of ways. It's really good stuff.
I use it in the kitchen cooking.
We sell it in the store and do we sell it online too?
Yeah, we do. It's just called chimichurri. Yeah. Alfregoni's chimichurri.
I met him at Memphis in May. He sent us some to try, and I was like, man, this is a great idea. And I like making fresh chimichurri too. That makes it easy. I'll tell you what I like to do with it. For the vinegar element, I use my hot sauce. So it's just oil, and I rehydrate some of the chimichurri in my hot sauce. I think it says how many ever tablespoons of chimichurri is how many tablespoons of vinegar you need. So if you use 3 tablespoons of the seasoning, you'd use 3 tablespoons of hot sauce and let that soak. And then you double the oil, slowly stream it in, and it makes a perfect chimichurri dipping sauce.
It's really good.
And for steaks or chicken or anything dipping in, coming fresh off the grill, it is excellent.
I don't like the chimichurri sauce you buy that's already wet in a jar. It has a funny flavor to me. It's never as good
as fresh made.
Yeah, it's
fresh made's the best, but
this is a close second.
It's close. Yeah, it's close, especially after it sits a little while. Yeah, everything softens up.
Yeah, you don't mix it up and go to eating it. You gotta let
it set. It takes about an hour for it to come together. Well, Tyler, besides our community giveaway, where can everybody else find us? And
Well, obviously, we've been talking a lot about this community. So if you guys go to Facebook, it's the Let's Get to Cooking community. It's on all of our social links as well. If you guys want to find all of Malcolm's favorite recipes, make sure you guys go to HowToBBQRight.com or H2QShop.com, where we post all of our recipes, especially the TikTok ones. I know a lot of you guys comment, where can you guys find those? That's the best place. And make sure you guys download the app on the Google Play Store and the Apple Store.
Shell, where else can they hook up with us?
Oh,
all the social channels.
Yeah. You don't.
You were looking up a recipe for tonight, weren't you?
If you'd like to connect with Malcolm, it's HowToBBQRight on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and of course YouTube. If you'd like to connect with me, it's Miss Southern Shell on Instagram.
That's it, folks. Appreciate y'all listening. We'll be back next week. We gone. Stay safe out there.